So my first memory of beauty, I want to say I was very young, like early elementary school age, at my grandmother's house in Florida. She pulled out a photo album of pictures of my mom and my aunts and my uncles, and they didn't have a lot of pictures, but there was this one picture of my mom. She was a very young schoolgirl, probably around the same age that I was, and I looked at the picture and I just looked at her and saw beauty. And it's your mom, you always look at your mom and see beauty from so many different angles, like outside and the inside, personality. Like, my mom was my first example of what beauty was inside out, being a beautiful mother, a beautiful wife, a beautiful woman of God. And so to see her as a young age and kind of look just like me, that made me feel confident in who I was, because I was like, man, I look up to my mom. My mom is so beautiful, and I see myself in this picture of my mom as a young kid. So after having that initial experience with the photo of my mother, it wasn't something that really clicked in my life until later on, because in elementary school, in middle school, and high school, colorism within the Black community was something that I dealt with every day in my life. Being a darker skinned Black woman, or at the time a darker skinned little Black girl, it was really hard for me. I was teased, kids just being kids, but teased for being dark, things like blue black or black as ink, or I can't see when the lights go out, things like that, which you really internalize when you're young, because these are your peers that are saying these things, your peers that kind of look like you that are saying these things. And I equated dark skin to being ugly and light skin to being beautiful. And that was something that took me graduating from high school and growing into a woman in college for me to get over, honestly. And one day I think I just stopped giving two cares about what people had to say, and I started really loving myself and seeing the beauty within myself and starting to see my mother in myself. Again, just like I was when I was that little girl looking at that picture of my grandmother's house. The transition that I made from being that girl that was really affected by what people said about my skin color, which ultimately in my mind defined my beauty, to being the person that I am now, where I just live my truth and I'm very happy with it, had a lot to do with me tuning out all the negative things and really just looking at myself in the mirror one day and saying, you're beautiful, you are your mother's child, you actually look just like your mother. And if you saw beauty in a picture of her when she was in elementary school and you saw yourself in that photo, then of course you're beautiful now. Of course you are God's child, you are your mother's child, and nobody can take that from you, despite what they say, despite what their issues and hangups are with color. And I think a lot of that just came with age, just came with maturity, and really not letting people define me. So now, as a fashion stylist, before, when I was younger, I would shy away from bright colors or patterns. I wanted to stay as neutral as possible. I was a little girl that kind of had a thing with dark skin and gold jewelry, or dark skin and red lipstick, or dark skin and red nails. Now I am all those things. I wear all those bright colors because I love the contrast, because I think that I am beautiful, my skin is beautiful, and because of that beauty, it makes the clothes that I wear and the clothes that I style other people in that much more beautiful. It's one of the highlights of styling for myself, is seeing the contrast of the colors. When I get new clients, sometimes they're so worried about what I think that they're willing to try, and I want you to try new things, but they're willing to try things that aren't true to themselves. And if I can hit anything home, it's just that as long as you are true to yourself, something that I learned in elementary school, something that I learned in middle school, high school, college, being true to yourself is what is going to keep your beauty shining long after you leave this earth, because at the end of the day, we're all trying to leave some type of beautiful legacy. My definition of beauty, not to sound cliche, is something that I really think radiates from the inside out. We've all met that person that's just beautiful on the outside, and they have this awful personality that you can just feel. The aura is horrible, and you don't want to be around that person. Beauty truly is, I truly believe that it manifests from the inside out. I truly believe that when you have that warmth and that kindness and that love, that is what radiates. That is the glow that people get when they smile at you and you just want to smile back. That is my definition of beauty, and nobody can define that for somebody else if you are being true to who you are. So as long as you're not listening to what other people are telling you to do or how other people are telling you to think, and you're just being true to yourself and letting that person, that good person, shine through, you'll always be beautiful. And I'll always think you're beautiful. And I aspire to be like that every day. I oftentimes find myself looking at my mom and just praying like, man, I hope that one day I can just be like half as beautiful as she is. And it's not even just a physical quality, it's just who she is as a person is so beautiful. Talk about goals. My mother is my goals, not only in beauty, but in life as a woman. So that is my definition of beauty. So I am Ashley Ty, and I am a different definition of beauty.